So Blake Lively believes she's doing the right thing. Apparently, according to People, she has no regrets.
Daily Mail, where she looked sad. She was at this horse event, I think, for her daughter, and she looked kind of sad. I don't know if that was the reason that people started saying that she regretted this whole feud because it was coming from some sources, but now People magazine is saying she does not regret. Now let's dive into the aftermath where things get hilariously messy. Enter the Daily Mail stage left with their sad Blake photo spread. These weren't just pictures, they were an opera. Of melancholy Blake in sweats looking pensive at a coffee shop. Blake walking her dog, gazing into the distance as if contemplating the weight of the world, or maybe just her next PR move. The captions practically screamed, "Woe is Blake." Everyone in this room because you're here. I know this about you. You've been gaslit to high heaven every time you've picked up a newspaper in the United States. Public speculation ran wild. Was she regretting the lawsuit? Was she rethinking her life choices, or was this just another act in the Blake Lively theater of image control? People magazine is saying she does not regret starting this feud. People magazine chimed in too, but with their trademark contradictory flair. One anonymous source claimed she was doubling down steadfast in her mission. Another suggested she was having second thoughts. Pick a lane. People for you to do the opposite and just imply again, more toxic crap and negativity. Anything this man does must have been to seek pleasure. I mean, you were so full of yourself, and this guy should sue her in a way. And then there's Blake's self-portrait as a selfless crusader fighting for what's right. A noble cause indeed, but when you peel back the glossy layers, you start to see the cracks. It's hard to reconcile. I'm doing this for the greater good with I'm doing this while coordinating outfits for my paparazzi strolls. If this is selflessness, then I guess I'm Mother Teresa for sharing my Wi-Fi password with the neighbor. It's just deranged. It's nonsensical. Like, fire the whole PR team. It's dumb. The language from her PR team also deserves a round of applause. Instead of facts, they went full mystic with phrases like Blake's beliefs remain unshaken. What does that even mean? Are we talking about her lawsuit? Or a horoscope reading? Her PR team managed to craft statements so vague they could apply to literally anything. Her beliefs remain unshaken. Great, but what about the receipts? The sad Blake narrative feels less like an organic public reaction and more like a scripted sympathy tour, from the carefully curated photo ops to the emotional leaks to the press. It's all a bit calculated. Sure, Blake might want us to believe she's just a woman, standing in front of the public asking them to believe in her cause. But to many it looks more like she's a woman standing in front of a mirror rehearsing her next move as well. An intimacy coordinator has weighed in and has said that she thinks that Blake trusted Justin. At one point, Justin Bldoni didn't just clap back, he brought a PowerPoint presentation. His response to Blake Lively's claims was nothing short of methodical. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme defaming Justin. Around Hollywood, strong-arming WME, their agency, into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career. However possible, while she was spinning a narrative with dramatic flair, Baldoni was busy laying down cold, hard receipts. It's like she came to a chess match with checkers pieces and he said, "Not today." Let's start with the evidence Baldwin's team systematically picked apart. Lively's allegations like they were assembling IKEA furniture, except this came with an instruction manual, text messages, emails, on-set reports. They left no stone unturned. Actor Adam Manin, who appeared alongside Blake Lively in It Ends With Us, claims the movie star mischaracterized their scene together in her bombshell sexual harassment lawsuit against Justin Bldoni. Blake claimed unprofessionalism, but Baldwin countered with glowing testimonials and timestamps. It was a masterclass in precision. And honestly, it was giving Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. But what made this even more layered was the alleged cultural prejudice lurking in Blake's narrative. Baldoni, a proud follower of the Baha'i faith, was subtly painted as other in her accusations. It's the kind of undertone you'd hope Hollywood had moved past in 2D25. But here we are, Blake's narrative, intentionally or not, played into stereotypes that undermined Baldwin's character, and people noticed how manipulative she's been, how she's trying to rewrite the history of it all. Then came the Hollywood shift. While Blake was once the darling of the red carpet, the tide started turning. Baldoni, initially quiet, emerged as a grounded, articulate counterpoint to her increasingly chaotic claims. His calm demeanor, coupled with his evidence-backed approach, started flipping the victimhood narrative on its head. And Hollywood loves a redemption arc is now offended by her implications in the lawsuit that he wasn't even qualified for this small little nothing role. Let's not forget actor Adam Manchin, who threw his hat and some serious shade into the Ring Manchin, who worked on It Ends With Us, called Blake's allegations offensive and untrue. He was great. I mean, he did a really good job at balancing being both, a lead actor in the film and then being a director and a producer. And honestly, the entire crew that he assembled was just so incredible. He dismantled her claims about invasive scenes, clarifying that everything was handled with utmost professionalism. His defense wasn't just a mic drop, it was the sound of a narrative unraveling. She sees herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, Mother of Dragons. Now, Blake Lively is no stranger to spinning a good yarn, but in this case, the threads are starting to fray. Let's talk about her Disneyland prison anecdote, a story so wild it deserves its own Lifetime movie, Blake claimed. She was interrogated as a child for stealing a Mickey Mouse-shaped eraser and interrogation at Disneyland, as if security at the happiest place on earth has a black site for rogue toddlers, and Blake Lively went to the New York Times and the New York Times wrote the sympathetic poor Blake Lively story. Oh, we were all wrong about her and her weird PR. She's actually a good person and a Me Too victim, and this isn't the first time Blake's stories have raised eyebrows. Remember the infamous Letterman interview where she claimed to have started school at 3, because in her words, she was just that smart, humble brag. Much the woman has a history of embellishing tales to the point where you're not sure if you're hearing a memoir or a Netflix pilot pitch, and I wonder why, like narcissistic women, they do this. It just seems as though I'm thinking, because it's something they can control. Like they can control the cooking and the ingredients. It's something they have agency over. Her storytelling wasn't limited to talk shows either. Blake's appearances on Saturday Night Live were strategic PR goldmines. One moment, she's baking donuts and acting like the girl next door. The next, she's dropping carefully curated hints about her resilience. It's a game of emotional ping pong oscillating between, I'm so unbothered and I'm carrying the weight of the world. Then there's her aviation gin era during the A Simple Favor press tours. Blake went hard promoting her husband Ryan Reynolds' gin brand to the point where even reporters were raising their eyebrows. Imagine talking about a dark, edgy movie and then pivoting to, by the way, try this gin, it's like a martini but better. The backlash wasn't just about the shameless plugs. It was about the tone deafness of it all, and let's not overlook her red carpet moments, where every pose seemed to scream, look at me but don't look too hard. Blake managed to turn public appearances into a tightrope walk between vulnerability and vanity one minute. She's a beacon of strength. The next, she's a relatable mom making jokes about baking. It's impressive, sure, but also exhausting to keep up with how manipulative she's been, how she's trying to rewrite the history of it all. Blake's PR strategy or manipulation, depending on how you see it, is an art form in itself. But when the facade starts to crack, all the baked donuts in the world can't sweeten the narrative. It's becoming clear that while she's great at controlling the spotlight, sometimes the light reveals more than she intended. Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person. Okay, and that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any Blake. Lively's once spotless, untouchable reputation is now looking more like a mirror, shattered into 1,000 glittering pieces. Let's start with People magazine. Shall we? This was the publication that practically treated Blake like Hollywood royalty for years. They rolled out the red carpet for her publishing puff pieces about her perfect life, marriage, and career. But now the tone has shifted. She said apparently last week that she regretted that she started this whole feud against Justin Bldoni. Recent comments from so-called sources close to Blake hint at regrets and mixed feelings one moment. They say she's standing firm in her convictions the next. She's supposedly questioning her choices, mixed messaging much, but the real shift isn't in the glossy magazines. It's online that they did actually start working on that article already in October. I think if you are to trust the metadata that some amazing internet sleuth found and saw that article was actually, they started working on it back in October. The internet sleuths are out in full force, armed with screenshots, metadata, and an insatiable hunger for tea. So this makes absolutely no sense to me, because the reason why Blake Lively filed this lawsuit was to clean up her own reputation. Now she's kind of saying that, oh, she's doing it.